Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Bayern Munich have edged it out against Paris Saint-Germain in quite a tight game. If I'm being very honest with you, they have ended up winning 1-0 at the Allianz Arena. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. It was a very tight contest. I mean, both these teams. It was not what's the word I want to use? Like a quite a flashy game. You did not see a lot of chances being created. It was quite a tight knit game between Luis Enriquez. That sort of a tiki taka, sort of staying back sort of football against Vincent Company's high press game. It was quite an interesting game. It was almost like a chess game, if I'm being very honest with you. And the goal that we got in that game was also came through a set piece, and it was sort of PSG's own mistake that they ended up conceding that goal. The goalkeeper not able to hold on to the ball, and that resulted in Menjai came getting ahead and getting the header and scoring that goal. It was as I expected, as I said in this, I said in the preview as well that it was going to be a very tight game, because both these teams, at the top of their leagues, and it a lot of good stars playing, and I expected both of them to be quite cautious, and that it was. Bayern were not that cautious, if I'm being very honest with you. I think they played with more of a freedom, like they played with more authority as compared to PSG, but they were the home side. They had the support of the home side, home fans as well, and they should sort of demonstrated that they are the home side. They had majority of the good chances as well. Jamal Musiala, he came close a couple of times. Sergio Gnabry, Asane, he came close a couple of times as well. PSG, they had their moments, but you cannot really pinpoint to exact moments where you can say that this was the moment where PSG could have gone ahead and scored. Like, their chances were not really that threatening, that clear as compared to the Bayern's chances, where they could have scored, but somehow they ended up missing. Either the goalkeeper made important saves, or they hit the crossbar, or they just went sideways. But in comparison to PSG's, I think Bayern were a bit more dominant in that game. It was very close. I would say it was like a 55-45% of that game, where PSG really held their nerve. I think that is where Luis Enrique missed his trick. If they would have gone the same way that they have played in League One, with the flair that they have, with the players that they have, just if would have told his players, to go out there and have their fun. I think if that would have happened, I think they could have gotten ahead and gotten something out of that game. But they were not able to do that, and he opted to play a bit, a defense, went to with a more defensive approach as instead of an offensive approach. And I think that in the end came back to haunt them, because Bayern Munich took full advantage of that. They were really happy with it. They had majority of the possession as well, and as I said before, like, they created most of the chances, and they got the result that they wanted. It's a huge win for Bayern Munich. It is just their third win of the tournament. They are still not safe. It doesn't feel that maybe they will qualify for the next round as well. It is really still very tough for them. They are still in like 12th in the table, 5 games gone, and you really did not think that Bayern Munich would be in so much trouble after 5 games, but here they are, and their progression to the next round, it is still a big question mark over that, because of what has happened, and they still have a couple of tough games remaining. So it was very important for them to win, and that is why it's such a huge game. And you could understand why both the managers were a bit cautious, but I think Bayern still went ahead and they did their job, and they got the goal. A bit fortunate to get the goal the way that they did, and even though PSG played the almost like 20 to 25 minutes with 10 men, I think that still did not matter, because PSG still held their ground, and they just ended up losing 1-0. But for Bayern, it was a great win. PSG, on the other hand, I mean, it is looking really bad. Like, 5 games in, and you just have 4 points. They have they won on the 4 opening day, and after that they've just gotten 1 point in their last in the next 4 games in the Champions League. They are in the 27th 28th in the table, and as I said, it's not really looking good for them. Whether they will be able to qualify for the next round, I think they are now, it's a big question mark, a bigger question mark than Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich's question mark is whether they will be able to finish in the top 8. Like, I think they will be in the 9 to 24 side. I think Bayern are going to be there, not comfortably, but I still think they are somehow gonna make it. But for PSG, just 3 games remaining and they just have 4 points. There are so many teams. That is why, I still see a lot of people criticizing this concept and whatnot. But I love the fact that the way that they have come up with this year's tournament. You are now the teams that are going to play tomorrow. There are a lot of teams that are near PSG, and some of them are behind PSG, but they are behind just 1 or 2 points, and they know that if they get a good result, they can overtake PSG and put them under a lot more pressure, and they have a better chance than PSG to qualify for the next round. So it is a very interesting prospect at the moment. I think PSG could be the shock, one of the shock of the season, that they might not be able to go into the next rounds with what is happening at the moment, and the way the table is looking at the moment. It is going to be very, very tough for them to get into the next round. I think it will be very, very hard for them. In my opinion, they have to win at least 2 of their next. They cannot afford to lose either of their next games. They have to win. Basically, the perfect thing for them would be to win all 3 games. But if they cannot win all the games, at least they don't lose any of them, because if they do, I think then it's curtains for them. And the games coming up, they are not easy as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how PSG deal with that. We are not going to see a Champions League game for at least for 2 weeks now, until December. So it will be quite interesting to see what PSG do when the December match day 6 comes in, because that could really be the end all for PSG in this year's tournament. So for tonight, again, I don't think they played really that bad. I just thought their approach to this game was not really good enough, and I think they did the same against Arsenal as well when they played us at the Emirates. I think they came in with a lot of a defensive approach, and when Arsenal took the game to them and Arsenal scored the goals, and then they tried to come back into the game. And I have said this a lot, and I think other people of course know this. It is not easy for the players, when you play for a certain way for a long time, that you have prepared a certain way, and then you cannot expect the players to suddenly change that and go to a different tactic and try to change the game quite quickly. It doesn't really happen, especially at the highest level. People expect, they think that players are robots or whatnot. You just have to change the hard drive and they're going to change it. It will not happen, and it showed today as well. The moment they went behind, Enrique wanted to change things up, but it was not really happening because the way that they were set up and all that. I think that is what really costing them the game. It was still a very interesting game to watch. There were goals going on everywhere, and this was a very, very tight game. Two big teams going at it, so it was quite a fun watch. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, about Bayern's performance, about PSG's performance, and who do you think is gonna be able to qualify for the next round? Do you think both of them are going to qualify for the next round, or do you think it is Bayern are going to qualify and PSG might not be able to do it, or it is going to be vice versa? PSG might somehow get in and Bayern get out in the first round. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and that's it for me in this video. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of this year. That is our target. We are currently at 300 subscribers, so it's like 200 subscribers. It is a big task, but we are hoping that we are able to achieve it. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out, and we make sure that we are able to achieve our target. Until next time, bye bye.